Today, we're going deep inside the walls of what is, without a doubt, America's most secure, most inescapable federal prison, a place they call ADX Florence. You might know it as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Okay, so what if I told you there's a prison, kind of tucked away in the high desert of Colorado, that was built for a very specific and, let's just say, a very final purpose?
A place that's been engineered with such insane, layered security that no one, not a single person, has ever escaped. It's basically a modern-day fortress where getting out just isn't in the vocabulary. But what if the real challenge wasn't just about staying inside its walls? What if the hardest part was just surviving the soul-crushing silence within them?
This is it. The United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility. It's a mouthful, so everyone just calls it ADX Florence. It's the country's one and only federal supermax prison. And supermax is exactly what it sounds like. It's the highest level of security possible, built to hold the inmates that literally no other prison can handle. So, what does life actually look like on the inside? Well, you can pretty much define it with a single number: 23. That's 23 hours a day, every single day, that inmates spend completely and utterly alone. And here's what that daily life breaks down to. You're locked in a tiny, soundproofed concrete cell. Human contact, almost zero. Meals get pushed through a small slot in your door. And that 1 hour you get outside your cell, it's spent alone in an outdoor cage that many have grimly nicknamed a dog run. Just take a second and really try to wrap your head around that. No shooting the breeze with someone, no sharing a meal, absolutely no sense of community. It's just you, 4 concrete walls, and the slow, unending tick-tock of a clock. The silence, well, the silence becomes its own kind of sentence. And in an environment like that, it has a profound and often a really devastating effect on a person. The big consequence of this extreme sensory deprivation is that a lot of inmates, they just start to lose their grip on what's real. The mind, it's starved of anything new, so it starts to turn on itself in some really dangerous ways. And look, this isn't just speculation. The psychological toll is well documented by experts. They consistently report things like severe anxiety, deep chronic depression, and even powerful vivid hallucinations. The scientific consensus is pretty clear. Long-term extreme isolation can do fundamental damage to the human brain. Which, of course, brings up a huge question. If the conditions are this severe, why does a place like ADX Florence even exist in the first place? What purpose could it possibly serve? Well, ADX was basically designed as a solution to a very specific, very tough problem. The thinking behind it is pretty simple, really. First, you have to control the most violent, the most disruptive criminals in the entire federal system. And second, you have to manage the inmates who've proven time and again that they can't be held safely anywhere else. It's about preventing them from being a threat, even when they're already behind bars. So when you really think about it, ADX Florence is so much more than just concrete and steel. For the people inside, it's a place where time itself just stops, where every single day just bleeds into the next in this silent, monotonous loop. And that brings us to one final really haunting thought. Even if an inmate finishes their sentence and one day physically walks out those gates, the psychological scars from years or even decades in that kind of profound isolation are immense. So the real question is, once you enter a place that's designed to break your mind, can you ever truly leave?